Good evening. Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Castle County Board of Commissioners. I'd like to start the meeting out with a moment of silent prayer. Amen. Move on to the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any public comments tonight? There being none, we'll move on to the next item. Any recognitions by any members of the board?
Yes, sir. I'd like to recognize the animal shelter folks for this past weekend. They put on a fantastic fundraiser, worked very hard, and I understand that they've done very well with their fundraising project.
Are there any other recognitions? There being none, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Any discussion?
Go ahead.
A motion? All right, got a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Next up, the approval of the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
need to have a correction on amendment. I was looking through it today. Page 24, paragraph 3. Madam Clerk has myself making a motion and also seconding the motion. And if you go down to paragraph 5, she has me making a motion and seconding the motion also. So that needs to be corrected out, or we need to.
That will be corrected when I post the minutes on the website. Commissioner Rose made the motion. Commissioner McVeigh seconded the motion regarding the gun. I think it's the gun on page 21.
Any other discussion? We have a motion to approve. Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, likewise. Motion carries. Next up are the discussion items. We move on to action items. Emergency services contract for approval, Barry Lynch.
Good evening, Commissioners. The reason I'm here is during the budget process, y'all rather voted to, instead of to purchase our cardiac monitors outright, to do a 5-year lease. And I'm asking for permission to sign the 5-year lease to purchase our new cardiac monitors. The original approved price was $45,000. The yearly lease price is $51,958.58. The reason for the increase is they're requiring us, because it's a lease, to include our maintenance contract in with the yearly lease. The maintenance contract is something that we already budget for, and actually doing it this way is a savings of about $2,000 a year in our maintenance contract.
What is the maintenance?
It's for our cardiac monitors.
If you buy it, how much would the maintenance be?
The maintenance contract currently that we are paying is about $13,000 a year. And the new price is right around $9,000 a year. But there is one, we're buying 5. We have one that's already new, so the price of that one that we're not leasing is $2,200 a month. So that's the $2,200 a year. That's the difference in it.
So we're actually leasing, not purchasing, correct?
Correct. It's a 5-year lease. At the end of 5 years, they're ours.
Well, so we're actually buying them on time, more or less then?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We're still buying them, we're just buying them over a 5-year period.
Yeah, the average lifespan of a cardiac monitor per physio is about 7 to 10 years. Ours are 12 to 13 years old right now.
Did you say the cost of what it is to buy them outright?
To buy them outright is $175,000.
Like this?
Yeah, they are roughly, prior to the price increase November the 1st, they were roughly $35,000 a piece.
Getting back to that 51, what's it, 51,958.58. That's the first payment, correct?
That's the same payment for 5 years.
Be the same every year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, all right.
And, we will have to budget for the 45,000. For this year, I'm just gonna take the 45,000 and the offset to it, what I've already got in the budget for the maintenance contract to make it equal 51, and then for next year, I'll just put it in my budget as a recurring expense. And the other thing, with this, he said that if I turned in the contract tomorrow, that we're looking at a minimum of 5 months, probably 6 months before we'll get the machines, and we will not be invoiced for them until they are actually shipped. I told him that if all possible, we definitely need to have it within this budget year, and he said he would do what he could. So.
Any more questions? Pleasure of the board.
Move we approve the lease.
Got a motion to approve, we have a second. Motion and a second. We'll do roll call vote. Start with Mr. Jeffers. Voting on that. Mr. McGood? Aye. Ms. Quinn? Aye. Ms. Sophie, aye. Mr. Yarborough?
Aye.
Mr. Rose? Aye. Mr. Holt?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Next up, action item is painting of the historic courthouse ceiling and walls. Tony Smith.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm going back in the spring of the year earlier. We discussed painting the walls and the ceiling of the courthouse. But at that time it was turned down, so I took it on myself to go back and do some research. I called Dewberry, Brian Bradley, and asked him what should be done, how should we go about it, so we get a long-term fix, maybe not a permanent fix, but a long-term fix. And he suggested we do just what we already had taken place. Talk to Sherwin-Williams, have them come in, look at it, make recommendations. And their recommendation was, A, to move out all the furniture, scaffold the entire courthouse. And then they remove the loose paint and go back and pick and find any other loose areas, make sure we've got a good solid surface everywhere else. And then they come in and prime those areas, actually prime the whole ceiling, then put a higher quality latex paint on top of that. And that's for the ceiling, the same thing for the walls. But Dewberry said that that's the very same thing they would spec out, we turned it over to them to be bidded out, except they have all the administrative costs of bidding and administrative jobs. I can take care of that here at the office. But what I'd like to do, if we'll go this route, is to have our maintenance director spend a lot of time up here working with the contractor, make sure he does a quality job, which he's very reputable. But, I've gotten three prices. The lowest price is $28,250. This is for the ceiling and the walls. Next price, $32,000, and the last is $39,000. So, I think we've got a good price, good contractor. But, I think it'll be a long-term fix. I recommend we go forward.
Question, on the three bids that you got, which contractor do you feel like is the best of the three?
Got a big load of South Austin. He's a long-term painting contractor, he does floors, and he's done this type of thing. That's what I recommend. I've used him in the past.
Which bid was he attached to?
Sorry?
Which one of the bids did they present?
That was, Whitlow, that's the lowest price, $28,250. And next one was, $32,000.
Another question, we talked about this, and it was before you were in the position you're in now as county manager. But I remember the quote that came back to this being a lot higher last time around. Am I remembering correctly?
Someone else mentioned that, Mr. Holt mentioned that, we found no evidence of that, and I pulled out the quotes back in May of this year. So I've got the quotations with me. So, I mean, just the paint itself is going to be quite a bit about the labor. So I think it's a fair price.
Well done, sir, well done. Because if my memory serves right, it was over $100,000 last time.
That's the figure I heard. But we've got a documented proposal from Whitlow, South Austin, for this amount.
Thank you.
Sir.
Are there any other questions concerning?
When can you get to it? To give your time frame?
I think we need to get to it fairly quickly. We may have to do it in phases. Maybe want to do part of it and move into the other part. So we may miss a session or two before we get done. I think he can get to it in the next 2 weeks.
There was another question. Did he tell you about how long it would take?
He did not, because it's not really going to know what he runs into until he gets here, but he'll get on sale and take things. But it can take 30 days.
What's the pleasure of the board?
One last question, Mr. Chairman. Where would the funding be coming from?
The money's already been allocated as budgeted last year, so we got the money. Maintenance.
Did we budget $100,000 for
No, sir, we did not.
it? What did we budget?
Budget for what, the maintenance director got quotes for, which is the $28,250. He got these quotes prior to the budget.
Any other questions?
We've got the money, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion.
So, Mr. McVeigh, I'll give you a second on that motion.
Yes, sir.
We'll do some roll call voting. Starting with Mr. Holt. Aye. Mr. Rhodes.
Aye.
Mr. Yarborough. Aye. Self, aye. Ms. Quinn. Aye. Unanimous. Motion carries. Thank you. Cooperative Extension MOA. Travis Posey. Sorry if I pronounced your last name improperly.
Oh, it's fine. It's good. You got awfully close. So. Thank you, commissioners. Just came back for this meeting. This is on the last agenda. Just see if there's any other questions you might have. Making a decision on what the MOA you would like to proceed with. is there any questions over the two different things that was presented at the last board meeting that I can figure?
Chairman, if I may. Mr. Ocelot.
Yep.
I believe the main point that we were discussing in our last meeting was the lock-in provision for salary. Casual is not, we've opted out.
Currently, right now, you're send in, which is the same as non-law. So any raises on the county portion of the salaries comes to, gets approved through the budget process.
And the lock-in would be if legislature approved a 5% budget for state employees, the county would have to match it, correct?
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
And both lock-in and non-lock-in, if you choose to give other compensation and benefits than the state does, that's still your decision to be.
What is the cost of living adjustment based upon, what are they predicted?
That's a state, COLA is a kind of a state number that pick out. I don't know specifically in North Carolina how they figure it. In other states, they figure it on certain counties, and what the county's cost of living is. They prorate it for the state. It's based off of inflation and housing costs and other things, and prorate it out. So that's usually a number that is produced by the state, and they adjust. Sometimes with COLA, sometimes it's just they come up with an arbitrary number in the budget to adjust.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the memorandum of agreement. It's not what it used to be. It's memorandum of agreement now with NCSU, but we remain a non-lock-in county where we determine the rates is not dictated to us by NC State. We have a motion. A second. We do the roll call vote.
I second it.
Oh, second. Do roll call voting. Start with you, Mr. Jeffers.
Yeah.
Mr. Young. Ms. Queen. Aye. Ms. Jones. Aye. Ms. Rhodes. Aye. And Ms. Toll. Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you all.
Board and committee appointments. Tony Smith. Currently, we have board committee openings. On Agricultural Advisory Committee, we have 4 vacancies, no applications received at this time. Next, the Board of Adjustment, we need 3 alternates, and we have received an application from Matthew Hope. Well, we have 1 application for Board of Adjustments, Matthew Hoagland. It's a pleasure of the board.
You will be appointed.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, if we could open a motion to open the floor for nominations, please.
Okay. We have a motion to open the floor for nominations.
So move.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Next, the Casual Adult Advisory Council has 5 vacancies. We've got 1 application, Cynthia Perkins. What is the pleasure of the board? Make a motion to approve. Motion, we have a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Officers, we'll move on to county managers updates. Yes, sir, Mr. Allen. We've had requests from the Tourism Development Authority to disperse $26,000 of their funds to them over a quarter, which is $6,500 per month. I think we've already talked about that and approved that motion. So just to let you know they are asking for funds and we can disperse those immediately. It's so approved.
Next up is commissioner comments. Do we have any comments from the board?
I've got a few others if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I've been requested from Jonah Sharp to hold the board to see what's the best time to hold a work session to discuss the current payroll wage scale, which is not correct, it needs to be corrected. She would like to educate the board as to how we should go about doing that. It's going to take approximately 1 hour. And during the same meeting, she would like to talk to you about the status of the county manager search. And she's given us a couple of dates to hold the board with. She'd like to do it 13th of this month at 4 o'clock, or the 20th of this month at 4 o'clock prior to the next board meeting. Those dates are not suitable, but she's got some alternate dates as well.
That's going to take approximately an hour for.
Well, it's going to take an hour per session. She needs to set aside 2 hours, starting at 4 o'clock. But she would like for everyone to attend if possible to get the next day. But
We have a regular meeting on the 20th, correct?
yeah.
Would you repeat that first part, Mr. Smith, the part about payroll?
Yes, sir. She's discovered that our payroll plan is not accurate, our starting pay is not accurate, and needs to be revised. And she needs to explain why it's not right, and we need to talk about it and get it corrected. Our starting pay is not correct.
Not correct as far as.
We're starting pay is under the minimum pay. We have a minimum.
Okay.
We have a minimum bed in top, and have starting pay, and then they're given a percentage raise after so many days. She said that's not proper. We need to correct that too.
Okay.
What is the pleasure of the board? Does anyone have a problem with 4 o'clock on the 20th?
That works for me.
Make a motion. Meet at 4 o'clock.
Second the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Meeting will be 4 o'clock, 20th, advance of our regular meeting.
All right, next, the Financial Review Committee met on the 27th of August. It's the first meeting to establish goals and target completion dates for 2022 and 2023. As discussed earlier, in 2021, we've done all the in-house work there. It's currently in August's hands, and we're hoping just next week or so we'll get that report back and he can make a report to the board. But it was a very good meeting. We talked about some of the challenges we face in the finance department. And I feel like we're making excellent progress. We talked about areas of inefficiencies. One being accounting for direct deposits into our banking account, where they're coming from. So we hope to set some type of receivables type system to where we can bill for it when it comes in, and we can market pay, and we know where it's coming from, and it's been paid. So this will be an ongoing meeting until we can get financial status up to date. Next meeting is in the middle of next month. And hopefully by that time we'll get a good report on 2022 in-house finance. Next, taking bids for improved audio system for historical courthouse. We had a specialist come in, and he's got some recommendations. We hope to have some numbers today, but he did not get back to us in time for those. So at the next meeting, hopefully I can present that to the board. Tonight, we had to borrow speakers from the library because our speakers don't work any good, not working in the courthouse. But that's part of the problem we had last session. Next, I've identified 5 vehicles that we should think about disposing of at auction. They're out of service. Currently, they're sitting behind the courthouse and hoping to talk to Enterprise and go about putting those out for auction, if that's acceptable to the boards. Most of them are Ford Focuses, and one Ford Crown Vic.
This be an online auction or in person?
They've got sources where they can contact, and I'm not sure how Enterprise handles that, but that's a routine procedure with them to dispose of vehicles. I would hope that we can say, yeah, they on our prices coming in. I'll learn as we go on that. Next, I would like to hold the board to see who wants to participate in the Christmas parade. So, think about that, and we can talk about it later, or talk about it now. Last year, I think, had a truck. Last year, we didn't have a truck.
Sir?
You had a truck last year with commissioners, did you not?
Yeah, if you wash it, we can use it again.
I'll be pleased to drive, so I can do that.
Yeah, I'm fine, we can use it if you want to.
That's all I got.
Report that I did, attend the health collaborative for the Dam River region, and they did come up with some plans. They had taken a poll. There were members there from the medical center, the health department. I don't think it was anyone from our social service department, but it was someone there from social services. And the key issues that they plan to focus on is access to quality care, economic opportunity, and housing. Those were the top 3. And they are going to work on those goals in coming meetings.
Thank you, Madam, for that pleasure. Are there any other commissioner comments this evening?
Mr. Chairman, I have one more comment when you finish. With the board's permission, we'd like to offer the staff a half-day vacation the day prior to the scheduled day off. We took a poll, and I think in the past, it's either been a luncheon or take 4 hours off the day prior to the scheduled holidays. So, with the board's permission, we'll offer that to the employees.
Can you say that one more time? Which day was that?
In the past, the county has offered either a luncheon for the employees prior to Christmas holidays, or either give them half a day off if they'd like to take the half day off on the last scheduled work day.
Last couple of years, we let them take the half day off. Before that, they provided a luncheon down at the civic center for them on Christmas, or for the Christmas holidays. Do you need a motion on that?
I don't think so, just if you tell me it's okay, I'm going to do it, I'm going to move on unless you oppose it.
For a consensus of the board.
Y'all want consensus of the board, yes, ma'am.
I'm good.
He wants a consensus of the board. I asked him if he needed to have a consensus of the board. Either half day, holiday, or lunch. He don't have a problem with it.
Okay. Well,
Looks like nobody has a problem with it, so that's green light for that.
We'll do the hash cut.
Anything else? More commission comments?
Comment, Commissioner, comment.
Okay, well, moving on. Announcements, upcoming events, November 7th, 2023, Tourism Development Authority, branding launch at 2 p.m. Coast Square. November 10th, 2023, offices closed to observe Veterans Day. November 16th, 2023, joint town meeting, 6 p.m. Coast Square. November the 20th, 2023, Commissioners meeting at 6:30, but will start at 4, with the other events added to the calendar at the historic courthouse. November the 23rd, 24th, 2023, county offices will be closed to observe Thanksgiving holidays. December 2nd, 2023, parade and Christmas tree lighting, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. There are any other announcements or anything that the board would like to add before we close it out, go to closed session? Speak up. Okay. Closed session on the agenda, we need to read this before we call for a motion for it, or you read this reason for the closed session first and then call.
Yes, sir. As a fact.
All right, closed session to consider qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness, conditions of appointment, or conditions of initial employment of an individual public officer or employee or prospective public officer is privileged hereby acknowledged. North Carolina General Statute 143-318, 11A6.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Now stand in closed session.